Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to News 360 and it's live news up here at Desawe in Kanda. My name is Alfred Okanse.
And I'm Natalie Ford. To look at the top stories this evening. Minister of Energy defends increases in price of petroleum products.
And the Ghana Immigration Service arrests 82 commercial sex workers at Medina.
Also ahead this evening, environmental NGO threatens legal action to prevent government from mining bauxite in Etiwa Forest Reserve.
And in business, Cocoa Board signs $1.3 billion syndicated loan agreement for next cocoa season.
On the international front this evening, tortured Ugandan pop star MP returns home. Stay with us here on News 360. We bring you the details of these stories and much more news. Our bulletin streams live all across the world on 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook. And here's where we start off this evening. Energy Minister Peter Amewu has defended increase in prices of petroleum products. Now, he says Ghanaians ought to be grateful because they would have been paying more under the Mahama administration. He was speaking to journalists in Accra earlier today.
On Monday, the price of fuel hit the 5 cedi plus mark, with fuel prices increasing from 4 cedis 94 pesos to 5 cedis 18 pesos for diesel and 4 cedis 90 pesos to 5 cedis 14 pesos for petrol. Mr. Amewu told journalists Thursday that the new patriotic party, since assuming the reins of power 21 months ago, has reduced the special petroleum tax twice. He said Ghanaians would have been paying more if the NPP had not come to power.
These have been very extensive reductions in prices of petroleum products within the period so far that we've been in government. The revenue loss, ladies and gentlemen, to government on the removal of the excise duty and the reductions of the petroleum levy alone between December 2017 and June 2018 amounts to 232 million Ghana cedis. The price we are paying today, if the Mahama-led administration is still in force, you will be paying quite close to between 9 to 10% higher than the current prices that Ghanaians are paying.
Mr. Amewu also noted that some 11 agreements signed under President Mahama are being considered for cancellation.
With these challenges, the government, again under His Excellency, has decided to locate the car power plant to Takoradi and to convert it into gas plant. If the NPP administration has seen the rationale of relocation of the gas power plant to avoid the people of this country from paying $40 million, what stopped the Mahama-led administration from doing the same?
He said the government is forced to pay an amount in excess of $50 million for power projects that are not needed because of excess installed capacity.
Well, let's still stay with this particular press briefing earlier today. Related development, Energy Minister John Peter Amewu has hinted of a shake-up at the bulk oil storage and transportation company that's BOST. This revelation follows a committee report that has uncovered cases of suspected financial malfeasance.
The Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited, BOST, has had several allegations of financial losses brought against it in the last few months, with both the minority NDC and some think tanks calling for a forensic audit into BOST operations. Energy Minister Peter Amewu said the Presidential Committee commissioned to investigate BOST have uncovered cases of financial malfeasance.
There's going to be a shake-up in BOST. You should expect that. We are going to examine the operation of BOST over a period. And immediately that happens, of course, you see the shake-up.
Following the report by the committee, a forensic audit will be commissioned into all operations of BOST between 2013 and 2018.
Whoever had been in BOST, whoever inactions and inaction in BOST over the period have brought the country to where we are, of course, will be part of that shake-up.
This audit, he said, will ensure that persons against whom adverse findings will be made will face the full rigors of the law. The audit will also provide recommendations for the restructuring of BOST management, operations and financial management. Full details of the findings will be made available by October.
Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, that's COPEC, Duncan Amwa, has urged the management to deal with persons behind the alleged fuel losses once and for all. Now, according to him, the time to take action is now and help clean Bost and cut down on losses. Bost is in the news once again, this time over the disappearance of about 600,000 litres of its contaminated fuel, which is said to have evaporated.
Shocking is a bit interesting, but it's funny that contaminated fuel, which we raised issues with last year, we had suggested that some had gone out. They said it hadn't gone out. The NPA had made a conscious effort to even block that which went to Zoop's oil. The last time we did any checks, the tanks are empty from Zoop's oil. The 471,000 litres of contaminated oil is gone. Has it been sold to us? We want to know. Was it dumped in a gutter somewhere? We want to find out. Yes. Whatever is happening to the contaminated fuel, which Ghanaians should not use, but is missing, we are interested in getting answers to them. Unfortunately, the former managing director who supervised this rot is still walking about a free man. We think that the national security, the BNI, should be inviting him by now for further questioning as to what happened to the contaminated fuel, which the NPA had said, do not sell, which the NPA had even moved out of its way to block and lock those valves with their seals. Their seals are broken. The product is gone. People need to answer questions, and Ghanaians should be angry enough.
Certainly, and we're going to stay on this in subsequent bulletins because 600,000 litres of contaminated fuel evaporating or getting missing obviously is a matter of concern. But the Ghana Immigration Service has arrested 82 suspected commercial sex workers at Royco, a suburb of Medina here in Accra. A Deputy Public Affairs Officer of the Immigration Service, Linda Sarimante, says the immigration enforcement team made the arrest in a swoop.
The Ghana Immigration Service arrested 82 women for engaging in illicit sex. Out of the 82, 73 are foreign nationals and 9 are Ghanaians. 72 of the women are from Nigeria and 1 is from Togo. Out of the 73 foreigners, only 8 claim to have passports. The 9 Ghanaians would be handed over to the police for further investigations. Deputy Public Affairs Officer of Immigration, Linda Sarimante, says the service has requested passports from both the Nigeria High Commission and Togo Embassy for those women to be repatriated soonest.
The Ghana Immigration Service has requested for the traveling certificates for the Nigeria High Commission to send their nationals back to their country. And this has to do also with the Togo Embassy.
Now, some 23 suspects have been arrested at Aniresu in the Afram Plains in connection with recent robberies in the Kwewu enclave. Their ages range between 18 to 70 years.
Police information indicates an operation team arrested the suspect at their hideout at Ayuensu in the eastern region. Upon a search on them at their hideout, 32 sacks of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp, 10 SB shotguns, 4 locally manufactured pistols, 15 live BB carriages, 2 chainsaw machines, 10 empty BB cartridges and 2 boxes of assorted restricted drugs were retrieved. One of the suspects, a 70-year-old who exchanged fire with the police, was shot in the right hand by the police. He has since been sent to the Antibi Government Hospital for treatment. The 22 other suspects have been detained for screening and further investigations.
So stay with issues of crime. A man in his 20s, suspected to be a thief, has been found dead at a school park in Agunaswedo in the central region. He was identified as Foseini by residents who say he is a known thief in the area. Lucia Yambela has the rest of the story.
Sources say he was lynched by an unknown mob this dawn. Foseini, as he was identified, was found dead at Mahodri Urban B Park, a suburb of Agunaswedo, in the early hours of Thursday. His hands were tied at the back with bruises on his head and legs. His slippers were also tied around his waist. Some residents who spoke off camera said they are living in fear as there have been rising cases of theft in the area in recent times. The body has been conveyed to the Agunaswedo morgue by a joint team of police and environment health workers.
In some other news this evening, scores of youth from Amenfi East, West and Central in the Western region have registered their displeasure about government's decision to exclude them from the yet-to-be-created Western North region. Led by divisional chiefs, former district chief executives, and with the blessing of the paramount chief of Wasa Amenfi, the second, they explained that the development of the area will continue to retard should they stay in the Western South region.
According to them, they have cited a roadmap that shows Wasa Amenfi East, West and Central excluded from the Western Region North. They say the paramount chief of the area, Tetrete Okwamwa Sechin II, was very instrumental in discussions for the Western region to be divided and even went ahead to propose the districts to make up the new region, which included the 3 Amenfi districts. They are therefore surprised government will exclude them when they have already made their intentions clear through their paramount chief. On Monday, September 17, traditional leaders, former DCEs, some prominent indigents and youth from the 3 Amenfi districts took to the principal streets of Asankragwa to express their opposition to government's decision to exclude them from the Western Region North. They lamented they will lose all their skilled labor force to Western North due to the trappings that come with the creation of a new region.
So betray jadia say twajana yate ho asem no na yeka edekoto sre me gira nananum Wasa Amenfi nyina na mu emo mate se ye dom no oboa ye na mom so mu yese obeyi afiri mu dia ene ebi na do obi adabi mebu a me hia won titu Wasa Amenfi East, Amenfi West, Amenfi Central.
The group added they will also be disadvantaged in assessing regional offices with regards to proximity should they remain with the Western South.
Me PM for Amenfi Central. Me nkuro no bebre ene yoso bibeni anwaso district ene bohye. Ofa nkwa so ofa bonse ye nyina ye bohye. Edi NTSC create region or honoma ebesa na ntia Takoradi kwantentin no ndi de kan say ye pese adwan ni Western North.
A former district chief executive for Amenfi West, Samuel Alberto Techi, explained, for example, that roads in the area will see massive development should they join the new region.
Region biano yamamu quota aban say highways are feeder roads yes region way yamamu bia 500 kilometers se munye so adwuma yamamu bia 100 kilometers se mungu quota na say ye ka Western North ho sa 3 ethnic groups and ye eche na say Western South I choked and a distance na make proximity so free ha one spend the crown ote passenger kema 4 hours plus Asankragwa na ni otias regression so and Amenfi West near Amenfi Central areas ni bebre omune Sevifo and the bush here. It will take them 30 minutes or less to reach Sevioso. Send the panito here people are also 5 miles, 6 miles, and so on.
The group has since sent a petition to President Nana Akufo-Addo to make them part of the Western North region.
So let's still stay with the issues with environment now, where environmental NGO Arocha Ghana has warned of a possible legal action to stop government if any attempt is made to mine bauxite in the Etiwa Forest Reserve. Deputy Director of Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, warned of dire social and environmental consequences should government go ahead to mine bauxite in the Etiwa Forest Reserve.
The new financing model for Ghana in undertaking future projects with which Sino Hydro Group Limited of China is to provide $2 billion of infrastructure in exchange for Ghana's refined bauxite from Etiwa Forest Reserve. The facility will be in exchange for alumina processed from the bauxite deposits. Deputy Director of Environmental NGO Aroche Ghana, Daryl Bosu, explained that the Etiwa Forest has the potential of raking in funds for government without having to mine its bauxite. He noted the social cost of mining bauxite in that forest reserve will be greater than the economic benefits in the long run. Daryl Bosu has hinted that Aroche Ghana and the concerned citizens of Etiwa Forest may resort to the law courts to stop any form of mining in the forest.
We are now looking at the information coming in and also assessing whether it merits us going straight forward for a legal action or we should just go to the Forest Commission for them to clarify. But either case, it's not something we shy away from, and we are committed to make sure the right thing is done. So if it turns out that that is how we should go, we will definitely pursue it.
The 17,400 hectares of Etiwa Forest Reserve in the eastern region has at least 960 million metric tons of bauxite deposits and water resource for over 5 million Ghanaians.
Now, squatters around the Accra Girls Senior High School have been given a week's final notice by the Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly to vacate the land that surrounds the school. Chief Executive Officer of newly created Assembly, Mohammed Aminu Zakari, personally handed the eviction letters to the affected persons who are pledging to apply force at the end of the ultimatum.
The buffer zone along Accra Girls Senior High School has become a business center for many squatters. Various activities including kente weaving and trading in all manner of items goes on around the school. These, according to the school authorities, create a lot of inconveniences to effective teaching and learning. Teachers say social miscreants sometimes take advantage of the situation and gain unlawful access to the school and harass both teachers and students. Managers of the school say they have complained about these happenings to the city authorities over the years, but no action has been taken. The new Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly appears to be holding the bull by the horn. The Municipal Chief Executive Mohammed Aminu Zakari, during his second familiarization tour of part of the assembly, distributed eviction letters to all squatters around the school. The squatters have up to September 30 to vacate the school land.
Some of them, we gave them 1 week. It looks as if they have not heeded to the advice. At least we are giving them more time, but I don't think it will go beyond end of this month. So surely by the end of this month, all of them have to be evicted. We use any means legal within the powers of the assembly.
The school authorities expressed gratitude at the development and prayed the assembly to ensure total compliance to restore decency and an environment conducive for learning.
We're going to stay with this particular story for the next 1 week that they have been giving to move from the place to update you on this. But away from that, we're getting to our MTN video report for tonight, where our citizen journalist Emmanuel Gulari reports on an abandoned and dilapidated primary school block at Yonyo district in the northern region.
This is primary school block that has been roofed off since 2 years ago, and it has not been given attention, and eventually the school is almost closed down because teachers and students or pupils cannot sit here when it rains. And in September, they are supposed to be in the classroom, yet it will still be raining. And this is not a school block that can accommodate people in a rainy season. It's Emmanuel Gulari reporting from Kwale Naswan in Yonyo Naswan district and Yonyo constituency.
Some amazing citizen journalists we have, but you can also join in there and send your video report to the WhatsApp number 055-1433-044, 055-1433-044.
You're watching News 360. All across the world, you're watching us on 3news.com. We've got the latest of business news coming up shortly. Stay with us.
A very good evening and thanks for staying with us right here on News 360's Time for Business with me, Nanikria Mensah Brampan. Beginning with, Cocoa Board has signed a $1.3 billion syndicated loan agreement with 21 banks in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Now, the amount is expected to be used to purchase cocoa beans from farmers for the 2018-2019 crop season. Signing the agreements, the Chief Executive Officer, Joseph Boahen, said he is confident the amount will increase cocoa production from the current figure of 900,000 metric tons per annum.
Cocoa Board will receive $650 million from the $1.3 billion as the first tranche in October. The other half of the amount will hit its account by the middle of November this year. The $1.3 billion syndicated loan is to assist in the purchase of cocoa beans from farmers. Part of the amount will also seek to increase cocoa production to more than 900,000 metric tons. Currently, Cocoa Board produces 978,000 metric tons from initial figure of 778,000 metric tons in 2014. Chief Executive Officer Joseph Boahen Aidu spoke about interest payments arrangements on the loan.
Once you take the amount, you will need cocoa to meet the 1.3 billion. If you take more than 1.3, let's say 1.8 billion, and we are not able to get enough cocoa to pay, then it means Cocoa Board or Ghana will be defaulting in the syndication. And that also comes with a penalty.
He has again initiated another round of discussions with the 21 banks to secure $250 million to support the cocoa sector. For a medium-term measure, the CEO says he is still in another discussion to raise additional $300 million to support the cocoa sector for a 3-year period.
1.3 billion will be sufficient, for the main crop. But we stand a chance of doing an overdrawing of $250 million after this 1.3 billion.
In a related development, Cocoa Board and Ivory Coast are expected to receive another $1.3 billion from the African Development Bank to stabilize price volatilities. Meanwhile, the $1.3 billion syndicated loan signed in Amsterdam is to be paid within 7 months.
Well, so from the commodities, let's look at banking now. And 79% of staff in the banking sector say the target set in the banking sector is unrealistic, according to the Ghana Banking Human Resource Survey. And as a result, 65% of them want to leave the sector.
The Ghana Banking Human Resource Survey from Akriti, Ghana, is an employee opinion survey which looked into compensation and benefits of workers in the banking sector. The report also sampled opinion regarding job satisfaction, relationship with management, job motivation, job change, competitor compensation, and ideal financial institution for compensation. Key findings in the report indicate that 1,230 staff from 14 banks were sampled on communication, corporate culture, satisfaction, compensation, and performance. 34% of the respondents said banks were not in line with their vision and missions. 51% of the respondents wanted to move to what they describe as their top 5 banks. The top 5 banks are Bank of Ghana with 52%, EcoBank 16%, GCB Bank 14.2%, Fidelity Bank 12%, Stanbic Bank 5.8%. Regional Managing Director of Akriti Ghana, Elsie Apu, said the study was necessitated based on the lack of information available in the banking sector.
What this also means is that people are just not happy with the way they are being worked out. You could have respondents describing their working relations as in the banks as borrowed life. And for me, it is problematic.
Labour expert Senyo Ajabin emphasized the need for human resource managers to introduce innovative programs that serve the needs of staff.
It's good that we start looking at HR as the impact maker, HR as the change maker, HR as the area of the business that can make a difference and ensure that the organization is more productive. That is the only way we can avoid some of the problems we are finding from this report.
The survey, which was conducted between February and May 2018, sampled the views of banking staff aged between 20 and 40 years.
To some more tonight, and a $20 million state-of-the-art facility to provide cutting-edge fabrication, engineering and hydraulic services has been commissioned in the Hunter West municipality of the Western region, owned by Harlequin International Ghana Limited. The one-stop shop facility has 3 workshops, each fitted with modern equipment to provide support services to industry.
The $20 million facility is a manifestation of 20 years of excellence in the provision of support services to industries in the country by Harlequin. Harlequin International Ghana Limited started operations in September 1998 with a workforce of 2, providing mining support services to Ashanti Goldfields, the first of its kind in the country. With Ghana developing into an oil and gas economy, the company also extended its operations into the sector. To enable it to provide excellent services to oil and gas companies, a $20 million fabrication, engineering and hydraulic facility has been commissioned. The facility has 3 workshops. The fabrication workshop consists of 3 extensive working bays, each with a capacity of 15,000 kilograms, 30,000 kilograms and 60,000 kilograms of overhead craneage with floor-to-hook height of 10,500 millimeters lift. The engineering workshop has a range of CNC lathes, CNC milling machines and a variety of equipment. The hydraulic workshop is fitted with test benches, honing machines with overhead craneage of 15,000 kilograms with floor-to-hook height of 5,500 millimeters lift. Founder and CEO of Harlequin International Ghana Limited, Barry Williams, said the company is committed to creating the platform to enable oil and gas companies to operate in Ghana without any challenges.
We have grown from a small, humble company into a true market leader, not only for Ghana, but for all neighbouring countries and as a gateway to the West African region. We are also proud to state that Harlequin is one of the first companies that covers the total spectrum of support services with ISO 9000 2015 and TS 29001 accreditation. We have set out on a mission to deliver to all world-class services and solutions to customers in a consistent manner, and we are on track with this milestone. Our vision to be the go-to preferred company, as well as being a catalyst for such services across the range of industries, are also being realized.
Commissioning the facility, Deputy Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Patricia Apieje, commended the company for its contribution towards the development of local human resource in the areas of machine tooling, precision and hydraulic engineering.
Your contribution towards the development of human capital in the areas of machine tooling, precision engineering, and hydraulic engineering services is commendable. Your work is in tune with the belief of my ministry that no country can develop without the capacity to produce machine parts and accessories. There can be no industrialization without indigenous parts, indigenous capacity to build machines and installation facility for various industrial activities.
The commissioning coincided with the 20th anniversary celebrations of Harlequin International Ghana Limited.
Okay, so that will do for the business segment tonight with me, Nanikia Mensah Brampa. There's more on 3news.com. Enjoy the long weekend and good evening. Alfred?
Yeah, well, thank you, Nanekia, for that wish. But the national chairman, aspirant of the NDC, Alhaji Hudu Yaya, has asked the delegates to vote for persons who, in his view, are principled and who have worked and achieved laurels for the party, that's the NDC, over the years. He says neither qualification nor ethnicity should be the yardstick for electing people into leadership positions, but rather the determination to work towards attaining victory for the party in the 2020 general elections.
In 2014, Alhaji Hudu Yaya contested to become the national chairman of the NDC but dropped out at the last minute. He was contesting the incumbent and national chairman at the time, Dr. Kwabena J. Other contestants were former Minister of Trade and Industry Dan Abudakpi and current chairman Kofi Potofi. However, Alhaji Hudu Yaya abandoned his bid for the race just before voting began. He explained at the time that upon a deep consideration and deference to the party charter and Council of Elders, he took the very difficult decision to step down in the interest of the party after several consultations with his team. Alhaji Hudu Yaya says he is resolute that the delegates will give him the chance this time to chair the party.
It should be NDC, not me. When we are looking to pick anybody, let's pick based on our values. Let's pick based on our principles. Let's pick based on, performance, what the person has been able to do as far as the objectives and goals of the party is concerned. It should not be based on the person's name. It should not be based on where the person comes from. It should not be based on the loads of qualifications the person has. It should be based on performance and results. And please, whoever we are picking will translate into what the party will be tomorrow. And it will translate into whether we'll be in government or not. And it will translate into whether we'll come up with good policies that will raise the economic fortunes of this country, so that our youth will not be crossing and falling in the Mediterranean Sea.
He was part of the 13-member committee set up by the National Democratic Congress to probe its defeat in the 2016 elections. Asked how under his leadership he will ensure that the grassroots support is renewed, Alhaji Hudu Yaya said, with all hands on deck, the party will experience historic transformation.
I start from my commitment to the values of the party. And that is what has attracted me into the party. If the party has no values, then it has just become a machinery. So I seek, I'm not saying that I am bringing anything extra which nobody else has. I'm seeking to come to join, to deepen it. I wouldn't say the party has totally lost its values. Definitely, we may have lost some amount of grounds, okay, but that may be temporary. As long as we stay in the political space, we have opportunity to correct that and get back to it. The leaders today will not be the leaders of tomorrow. The important thing is to lay the good foundation that those who will take over will also build on it, and whatever they will build on will also become foundation for the generation ahead of them. Okay.
You're still live here on News 360. We're back shortly after this break. Do stay.
Hello, good evening, and it's time for us to bring you all the latest from the world of sports right here on News 360 with me, Thierry Nyan. Now we're starting off with the African Women's Cup of Nations, and well, Ghana has officially and finally been cleared to host the tournament later in November. And Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports, Perry Okujeto, has confirmed that. Now the inaugural ceremony for the venue organizing committee, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable Isaac Esiama, and the local organizing committee have expressed their readiness for a smooth tournament.
I want to place on record today that Ghana has the full blessing of CAF to host the 2018 Women AFCON.
The venue organizing committee for Accra has been inaugurated with a call to ensure a successful hosting of the upcoming Women Africa Cup of Nations in Ghana in November. The LOC last week inaugurated the VOC for Cape Coast before following up with the inauguration of the Accra committee. The committee for Accra will be chaired by Elizabeth Saki, Deputy Minister for Greater Accra Region, and assisted by 10 other members. The VLC is responsible, among other things, for planning all venue activity in consonance with the LOC Secretariat, planning and supervising security requirements for the tournament. Chairperson of the local organizing committee, Frida Prempeh, is confident Ghana will host a successful tournament.
I am poised to have a successful tournament, and looking back to what we've done so far behind the scenes, I believe with the exception of the infrastructural work, a few that needs to be done, we are indeed ready for the tournament. So,
Vice President for the Normalization Committee for Ghana Football, Lucy Christ, was the special guest of honor and admonished the VOC members to do a great job.
Sports is about discipline, it's about skill, it's about commitment, it's about dedication, it's about the tenacity to win against the odds. It's about the willingness to say that I will go the extra mile, even though at this point in time I'm exhausted, I'm tired, my muscles are aching, but I have a team counting on me, and more importantly, in their case, I have a nation counting on me.
The 2018 Women Africa Cup of Nations is slated to come off from November 17th to December 1st in Accra and Cape Coast.
All right, so let's stay with women football now. Arguably, the most powerful woman in Ghana football currently is Lucy Christ. Well, she is the vice president of the Normalization Committee to run Ghana football. And she has said that, well, she and her team are ready to make things work in Ghana football again.
For all of us, so we're a team of 4 people who are visible to everyone, but actually this is a challenge for all of us as Ghanaians. We have a responsibility of, as I said, reformation to reorganize Ghana's football for not just today for us as a nation, but for the future Ghanaians who are coming up as well. So it's a challenge, but I believe that as Ghanaians, we always have a way of grabbing challenges with both hands. We've been working practically every day since then, what success will look like in 6 months is what we're strategizing together to define at the moment. One of the things that we can definitely assure you of is transparency, communication, and above all, engagement. So we will define what success in 6 months looks like and what should happen after that. We will come back to you and share that openly with you so that we can all rally around and make those things happen.
All right, so that was Lucy Christ, the Vice President of the Normalization Committee. But, well, all right, so on that note, we end the sports bulletin right here on NEWS360. My name is Thierry Nyan, but remember, Chelsea have won their game. Arsenal currently leading through a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang goal in the Europa League.
Welcome back to News360. On entertainment news this evening, as part of our Thursday throwback, we put the spotlight on one of Ghana's iconic singers and guitarist, Ebo Taylor. Although public attention on his works has lessened, he is still worth appreciating and acknowledging.
Ebo Taylor is a Ghanaian singer, guitarist, composer, band leader, producer and arranger, focusing on high life and Afrobeat music. Born in 1936, Ebo Taylor has been a vital figure on the Ghanaian music scene for over 6 decades. In the late 50s, he was active in the influential high life bands, the Stargazers and the Broadway Dance Band. In 1962, Taylor took his own group, the Black Star High Life Band, to London, which led to collaborations with Nigerian Afrobeat star Fela Kuti, as well as other African musicians in Britain at the time. Returning to Ghana, he worked as a producer, crafting recordings for Patch Thomas, late CK Man and others, as well as exploring his own projects, combining traditional Ghanaian material with Afrobeat, jazz and funky rhythms to create his own recognizable sound in the early 70s. Taylor's work became popular both locally and internationally. Usher Raymond, an American singer and songwriter, in 2009 used a sample from Taylor's song Heaven for She Doesn't Know.
This is Maestro Ebo Taylor's performance at the 2015 Ghana Jazz Festival.
I only know that I'm in love with you. I can see heaven in your eyes. When business comes to a standstill.
Even at age 77, Taylor was still intensely creative and focused, mixing traditional Fanti songs and chants with children's rhymes and personal matters into his own sharp vision of high life. Though Ebo Taylor's work seemed to have left the limelight for a while, we still acknowledge and appreciate them.
Ebo Taylor, Love and Death, one of my very favorite songs that he put together there. But let's still stay with entertainment. Outspoken musician Kwame A+ has thrown a shot at President Akufo-Addo, asking whether he was lying when he promised to change Ghana in 18 months. A+, a loyalist of the president, is unhappy with the hardship in the country, querying, quote, what happened to the president's promise in 2016 that he would change Ghana in 18 months when voted for? Unquote. A post by the controversial entertainer read, quote, when people ask for the change, NPP communicators say it's too early. Ghanaians are impatient. It's only 18 months. Did Nana Addo say he will change Ghana in 300 years? A+ quizzed. Did any Ghanaian force him to make that promise? He further questioned. The rest of A+'s post read, if you take Nana serious and believe him when he speaks like I do, you will ask why the change has not happened, unless at the time of making the promise you knew that he was lying. It appears A+ is unimpressed with a lot of things and hopes for improvement. Well, we'll be back shortly.